students and learners, do you know during the Japan earthquake, many parts of Japan got flooded due to soil liquefaction. But what is soil liquefaction? Now, in order to understand the concept, I have prepared a small demonstration for you. And before we move on to a demonstration, let me explain the concept to you. So, soil liquefaction occurs when, due to an earthquake or due to rapid shaking of the ground, the water table or the saturation that is there in the soil, the water comes up and all the buildings or cars they subside or they go down and they get stuck into the soil. So the substratum which was quite firm or the soil which was quite firm, it gets loosened up and the water particles, the water comes up and ultimately it creates a situation where there can be floods in very severe situations. So this is what happened in Japan. So before we begin our demonstration, let me very briefly get you acquainted with our apparatus. Our materials required are very simple. We have pretty clear a trough. We have a jar of sand to demonstrate the soil layers, and then we have water which will demonstrate the underground water, or we can say it will demonstrate the water that is present in the subsoil or in the lower layers of the soil. Now, children, in order to understand how this water works, you have to understand the seismic zones. As you all know, that seismic zones are divided in, they are divided on the basis of their severity from the scale 1 to 5. And majority of India, the northern Gangetic plains, they come in the criteria of zone 5. Why? Because we have river beds in these particular areas. So in river beds we have sand and we have water. So that makes us very vulnerable and very in a risky position as far as earthquakes are concerned. So let us see what happened in Japan way back in 2010 and 11. Okay, let's start our demonstration now. Now let's pour some water into this particular trough, and this water will work like a groundwater, or it will work like the lower layers of water that is there in a coastal area or in a river bed. So this water will provide the saturation to the sand and the soil and all the layers that are there. And as an earthquake comes, so we have studied about the P waves and the S waves that are there during earthquake. So the rolling waves that we have during the earthquake, they are the most damaging, as we know. So I want you to search more about the P and the S waves that occur during the earthquake and what damages it can cause to a building. Now we have water. Now let us pour some sand and let's make our soil substratum. So now I am pouring some sand. Let's pour it quite gradually so that it will get saturated, and I will show you this particular demonstration. Now we have placed our sand, and as you can see, the top layer of this sand or soil is quite firm, and let's build a building on this. So this is a superstructure that we are having. This may be a tall multi-story building that we may have. Let's put some cars also for fun, and this may be a second building that will be there in the town, and let's put some trees also. So now our city is ready and is about to have a tragedy, that is an earthquake. And since it is a coastal area or a riverbed area, just like we have in Delhi, the Yamuna river bank, and what will happen now is let's have an earthquake. So I will shake this trough like what happens in an earthquake, and let's see what happens. Okay, so I'll start shaking this, and ultimately what happens is that, as you can see, the water from below starts to come up. So as you can see, the water from below has come up, it has subsided, the soil has subsided, and the water has come up because of density. And because of this shaking and and the soil particles becoming loose, the foundation of our buildings and even cars have been stuck in the soil, or you can say that clay mixture of soil and water. So this is becoming a problem. So in the low-lying areas, they will be flooded because of this soil liquefaction, and large buildings or heavy superstructures will be tumbled, or they will be stuck into the earth. Either they will lean or collapse, or they will fall down and get stuck, just like this car that we are having and this small building that we were having, right? So this is a basic concept. Let me show you how much water we could collect. So as we can see, the top layer of the soil was quite dry, and as the ground started to shake and the earthquake was on for near about a minute or so, then what happened? The water from the substratum or the lower layer of the soil, it came up, and ultimately the tragedy happened in our little city. So let's take the concept of non-Newtonian fluids as well. Non-Newtonian fluids are such fluids which can be liquid when they don't have any stress, and when you apply stress on them, they become semi-solid. So this is just exact opposite of what a non-Newtonian fluid is. And what soil liquefaction is there, and I want you to find out more about soil liquefaction on Google, and try to get some diagrams working so that you can understand the concept better. So this is what happened in Japan, and this happens in many parts of the riverbed areas and the coastal areas where there is large amount of water present, or any large water body present in that particular area. So as far as I was talking about the area of Delhi, northern plains and the northern Gangetic plain up till Bengal and Bihar, we have quite the zone which is vulnerable and which is risky as far as this soil liquefaction problem is concerned. So students, that is all about soil liquefaction. So I would want you to find out more about it and remain inquisitive. Happy learning.